So what's up guys, welcome back to another video, it's Lex here. So in this video, we're just gonna go over kind of how I've been traveling and training at the same time and how I'm right now approaching training. So I've kind of gotten a little bit back into actual gym to actually train properly, which is nice, so I can hit heavier sets and I've been able to do actually leg days. I was just using hotel gyms when I arrived here in LA. So basically my training was mostly just upper body. I could hit a pretty decent workout just by doing a lot of like pause and slow eccentrics and really focusing on the reps, even with lower weights. But now that I have access to at least better gym equipment, I've been able to actually achieve some better hypertrophy and actually do a variety of movements that I usually do, like seated dips, actual I can have access to a barbell, I do squats and everything else that I need to do, back extensions, etc. So pretty much how I approach training right now, especially since a lot of my weights have might have shifted a bit and machines shift. There's quite a bit of difference between like doing like a pec fly in another gym and in another gym because the machine might be different and the weights might be different. Same for a lot of like cable machines or whatever, so you might get confused as to how you progressively overload. So honestly, the way I kind of just go around that, or try to anyway, when you're traveling, is you pretty much just have to like find weights that challenge you and progressively overload on those. And even if you have to switch gyms, you kind of just have to find a new weight to work with. Like there's really no other solution. It's really hard to track. Kind of like if your weight in a cable rack, for example, is like I don't know 60 kilograms and it's like really light, and then in the next gym 60 kilograms is like the max weight and it's really heavy because the cable machine is different. So then it's pretty much impossible to track. It's maybe like half of the weight that you were using. So it's just like that's kind of like you kind of just have to go by feeling a lot when you're traveling and really just try to maintain at least what you have and try to progressively overload and go to failure at least as much as possible and eat well enough to recover and sleep well enough to make progress. And I think that's really the key when you're traveling, so that you're not like having a bunch of trouble with progressive overload in your time when traveling. I don't think many people essentially live like a long travel lifestyle like I'm living right now, where I'm switching a lot of gyms. But for those that relate to that anyway, those are some tips for like traveling and hitting the gym. You should probably try to find at least the best gyms in your area so that you can like do something while traveling. And if you can't do gyms while traveling and if you have a hotel gym or whatever available, then I'd recommend finding like an outside gym probably and doing bodyweight exercises. That's probably the best you could do in that scenario, in my opinion. If you have nothing else to go for and you don't have much time, for example, for some reason, then you can also just do bodyweight exercise in a room, wherever, outside. So recently, what I did is I've been deloading, and with the deload, um, I did maybe lose a tiny bit of strength from deloading and just not eating properly and sleeping properly while traveling. That's kind of just goes with the flow of traveling. So you kind of have to uh, do what you can, adapt, and then just work back up to where you were. I haven't lost like that much since I did hotel workouts and whatever on the way, and did the best I could do. Kind of just skipped leg days for a week, and I kind of used it as a deload week, so I didn't lose like too much strength. I didn't use a belt on my squats and stuff on the after the deload week. Kind of just getting back into it. Pretty bad DOMs since I didn't do leg day for like almost 2 weeks. So with DOMs, I pretty much kind of chilled out and just let my body kind of get used to the weights and get regain strength and adaptations. Since the first thing you lose is adaptations when you're especially like traveling and if you don't train. So that's pretty much what you have to regain and get back into it, regardless of like progressive overloads. I wasn't really focusing this week too much on it. And otherwise, the workouts were pretty good for upper body. Like, still making progress. My weight is like, I have no idea, probably around like 85 or so, potentially. At least looking at my aesthetics, I would assume so, probably around 85 kilograms. Since I'm kind of just intuitively eating, like, just to get my needs done, just kind of getting in protein and food. I try to intuitively eat like a decent amount of food, so like maybe 3 times, 4 times a day max, um, and seeing what I can do with that, especially with a busy time schedule and having to do a lot of things. You can have to eat when you can and just try to eat as healthy as you can when you're traveling, depending. how you want to go about it, but that's personally how I've been doing it. It's kind of just trying to save time and eat conveniently and healthy as possible. My goal, honestly, for right now is basically just to hit a position where I can basically do some kind of progressive overload while I'm traveling, the best of my ability at least, because if you can't do progressive overload, then it kind of gets really boring to maintain. So I'm really just trying to the best of my ability, especially as I switch gyms a lot right now. I'm just trying to pretty much hit failure on everything. Don't care too much, like since the weight might change a little bit, and the machines and the range of motion, etc. I'm just gonna focus on like going to failure and getting as much of that in as possible. And I think that's the most important thing anyway, is actually doing intense sets to progress. That's what a lot of people lack. And you know, I think personally, at least at the gym, I want to make progress, and that's my goal. It's probably not the best lighting ever. Pretty natural lighting, not looking too much like fluffier than usual from normal. Pretty good for like natty lighting or like no lighting at all. But yeah, I hope you got some insights from this video. I just kind of went to travel, yep, about my training and what is going on right now and my plans. I hope you enjoyed the video. God bless. If this will, thank you for watching.